AG, napkin duty, ASAP, ASAP.
Please.
Hurry up.
Drinking water.
I don't care, hurry up. Can you walk faster?
But how long is the threads, bro?
Bro, they long. Just AG, hurry up.
Sorry.
God. This dropped it, bro.
Oh my god.
See?
Oh my
Perfect
god.
time. We can use the absorbent. Thanks.
Oh my.
What's good, YouTube? Throttle Havoc here.
Back with another video. My name's Alpha.
I'm Jason. So today, we out here with the Mustang. This is Ashanti for those of y'all who do not know. So she's leaking a little bit of oil. This modification today was not expected, but if y'all saw the thumbnail, Mishimoto oil cooler going on. Couple that we got a little oil temp gauge going in. You see the cinders already in there, and fuel pressure sensor gauge, and you saw the gauges right here. You know. But yeah, so the carbon leaking oil. This modification really wasn't supposed to be until like stage 2 when we did the heads and cams and all that other stuff. Bear with us, it's Florida, it's hot as hell outside, I'm damn near about to die. Sweating my ass off and everything else in between. But yeah, so this is an unexpected mod thanks to the car. She broke herself so she can get better, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna bring y'all this little install video.
Alright, some of the parts that the kit came with was these stainless steel braided lines. It came with also some various fittings as well needed for the installation.
So, being the fact we gotta drain the radiator and the stock, there are 2 cooling lines that go to the oil cooler. They sent us this. They unfortunately do not make this in silicone. They do have a silicone hose kit, so what you have to do is cap off the 2 fittings, which we will do that. Like I said, this car was supposed to get this when it got a bigger radiator and all that type of stuff.
Shit happened, you know.
But it happens, you know. Don't mind the car, it's dirty as hell because it's not been driven for like 2 weeks. So yeah, we just did something light for the coolant over there, y'all see, because it's coming back out next year. So yeah,
So we went over with Peak, and then for the engine oil we went over at Mobile One.
yeah, so pretty simple.
Also, there's other videos on this Mishimoto installation, but we wanted to film it for us and also show you the guys what type of tools we use during the installation, as well as the process us going through the installation.
But yeah, so y'all just stay tuned. We doing it, so we just gonna document anyway. So yeah, y'all can come along with us. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, man, we just want to give a big thanks to Super Clean for sending us some products. Y'all should definitely go check them out. Today is gonna come in handy because we are doing oil cooler install. So we're draining out the radiator. Gonna be coolant, oil, all that has been leaking oil. So this degreaser is definitely gonna be utilized throughout the video. We're gonna see how well this works, and give it a try.
Yeah, and I used the all-wheel cleaner before in the past. It actually works pretty good. It leaves a nice shine on the wheels. And actually today is gonna be pretty good because we have some full absorbent. So if anything were to spill on the floor, we'll use this as well.
Which it probably will because the car is leaking a little bit of oil right now, which we're fixing today.
Right.
So, but we do have some experience with these products, so yeah, we're gonna see how they work out today though. All right, so before we get into the actual install, we do have the car on 2 jack stands right now, so the oil flow out a little better at an angle. But as you can see up here, the oil is dripping off of the oil filter. So initially I thought it was loose, but in reality it's actually leaking from the top of the oil cooler. But as you can see, it's been leaking for a little minute and it's caked up quite a bit under the side of the car. So it's a perfect time to test this Super Clean and see how well it gets this oil off the car. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with how it works. They actually have more product details on their stuff, and I'm pretty sure I think it's stronger than some of the degreasers that I previously used, so y'all should definitely go check them out. Anyways, let's get into the install.
All right, for a normal oil on change, you just want to have a 15mm socket wrench. Move. Now just be prepared for the oil when it comes out.
We actually got a stereomagnetic drain plug right here to get out any, impurities from running through the car. Any little bit of metal that may come out, but it's not looking too bad. So yeah, just let this drain out. And while we under here, I just want y'all to see, like, it rained. Like, you see, y'all saw how hot it was, and it rained, bro. It's hot as hell. If y'all don't know Florida weather, bro, it's horrible.
Highly bipolar, highly
Very
unpredictable.
It's like your wife times 10. Alright, so now, man, we're going to take off this intake. We actually got a video coming up. If y'all have seen the other videos, we didn't have this intake on there last time. It was actually the air raid. So we got that at the crib. We just got to put it on the dyno and test them out and everything. We're going to bring y'all a whole little video on that. But until that point, yeah, we're going to ride with this one. But we got to take the intake off for now. So just get your little flathead. Unscrew this from the throttle body. I'm not the tallest, so it's a little tough with how the car's angled right now. Alright, got that off. Now, I'm gonna pop the intake lid off. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna pop the oil catch can off. Or the whole thing, I guess. That works too. We can pull the top piece off. Oh, don't forget the MAF sensor. That's a big thing. Now we can pop the intake itself off after we pull that out. Fitment is a little big, so it'll come out though. Alright, so you're gonna get your little 10mm socket, take this one bolt out right here for the intake. The reason we gotta take it out is because we gotta get to that lower radiator hose right there so we can put in the new one. I'll explain in a minute. Alright, so we got the bolt out. Now, when you pull the intake up, be careful because there is a little grommet that is on the bottom right here. You can leave it on there, but just make sure it don't drop off. With this grommet, this is what centers the intake correctly, the lower half. So just make sure y'all have that as you go to pull it out, like so.
Okay, for this can filter, it is a 1-inch socket.
4 wrench, But just for y'all to know, it's a little tough because you got the oil cooler that's right there. It's pretty close to this the subframe, so
it's pretty tight fit. So
we've in the past done it with just like the oil wrench pliers that grip onto the thing. But we're gonna try this way and see how it works out. It's gonna start dripping, so turn that bitch fast.
I want to pour on my face.
Nah, you gotta take it off fast.
Get off!
Don't let it drop. If it drop, that shit gonna go everywhere. Camera and all. Hold it. No, you gotta grab it. Like,
still got it.
AG, napkin duty, ASAP, ASAP.
Please.
Hurry up.
Drinking water.
I don't care. Hurry up. But can you walk faster?
But how long is the threads, bro?
Bro, they long. Just AG, hurry up.
Sorry.
God. This dropped it, bro.
Oh my god.
See?
Oh my
Perfect
god.
time. We can use the absorbent. Thanks
Oh my fucking god.
Alpha.
This
That shit's on
Y'all
my
gotta
face,
see
bro.
this, bro. Y'all gotta see this. Oh my gosh, bro.
Alright. So there's a
Yeah,
wrong.
spazzed out.
There's a wrong and a right date. There's a wrong and a right way to do things.
Okay, so since we're here, you might as well do an interview. Sir, how would you say this Mobile One oil has fared in this engine?
By the taste of it, I feel like
Oh, alright, bro, we're gonna get this cleaned up and get back to y'all. Alright, so he got oil everywhere. It's on the mic. Splashed up under the car. We'll clean that later, no worries. But right now is a perfect time. Like I said, we probably would have some spills to try out this super clean floor absorbent. Yeah, the last time this happened was when I was changing oil in my dad's truck, and there's a whole black spot on the ground now, so hopefully we can get this up. So yeah, we're gonna give this some time to soak in and get the oil up and see how it works. But yeah, shout out to Super Clean for really sending us some of these products, man. Y'all should really go check them out, because this stuff is coming in handy. We'd be out of gas if we didn't have it. Oh, there's the spot.
To remove the front splash guards, there's going to be 16 7mm bolts, a couple right here, and a whole bunch in the front, as you can see. So just see them around, make sure that they're all gone. And there's going to be around 4 pop clips on each corner.
There's going to be one that's like off in the side. It's going to be kind of hard to see.
Right, it's going to be one that's off to the side holding this splash guard on.
Yeah.
As well as this
right
one.
Here. Yeah. This is what they look like. Yeah, so the camera wasn't recording, so we didn't get that part for y'all, but yeah.
So you're gonna have to remove this rear splash panel that has 4 7mm bolts.
Alright, so now we got all the panels off, as y'all saw. So we're going to open the coolant reservoir, the overflow tank, so that way it can ventilate more as we drain the radiator. Now, went to the auto parts store. Don't know which hose we're gonna need for the radiator drain cock, but we'll see. So now, as you can see right here, got the valve. See if this hose fits. As y'all can see, it's a tight squeeze, but if you go to the auto parts store and pick up a 3/8 hose, this will help you drain the radiator so you can extend it down. And you know, now you just want to crack the valve open. What we forgot to do, we didn't jack the back of the car up after we drain the oil out. Make sure y'all do that, because the coolant is gonna flow extra slow if you don't. But yeah, so now we're just gonna let it drain out, and then we'll get back to y'all with what's next.
Okay, now moving on to the bumper. You will have to remove 3 connectors going towards the fog light. Just these 3. All right, now there's 2 pop-off clips, as well as a 1 7mm bolt. You don't have to take off the full wheel well, but you can just move it to the side to access the other bolts.
I don't know if the camera gonna focus on it, but it's literally, you'll see it in your car right here, and then the little screws right here. You probably can't see it on here, but just know it's 7mm where my finger is, and then it's these 2 pop clips right here. All right, so now that we got the clips off of the fender liners, we gotta take this piece off right here. So you just gotta, get your little screwdriver or pop clip tool, pop these out. So now, there are a bunch of 8mm all across the top of the bumpers. Right here, right here, right here, right here, and right there. She's taking those off. And then inboard of those, you have this under the sill, which are actually a 5.5mm, which is right here in front of the headlight. So we're gonna get this taken off so we can pull the bumper off and get to the actual installation of the oil cooler. So as you can see, this car has quick releases. So a common problem with S550 bumpers is that they tend to break the clips and they misalign. So a good and easy fix to do for that is to get some quick releases so they line up all the way. And show you how they come off. Just like that. See these clips right here? They break off. So just to keep it nice and lined up without having to worry about the bumper sagging over the time period. Alright, so now at this point you just gotta pull the bumper up and over these little pins on the top. Should be like 3 of them, I think. And just pull it out. And now your bumper should be off.
Now what you want to do is unloosen this radiator clamp right here.
Lower hose so y'all can see. It's the top part, it's the bottom part.
You gotta make sure you wiggle it back and forth. You know, sometimes it's not that wet as she used to be. Then after you taking the bottom one off, you can take the top one off.
Try not to get it on the belt if y'all can. Maybe a little tough, but just keep a couple rags in case. Alright, so now we got the hoses off. So the next thing to do, we got to take these two hoses off of the oil cooler, the stock oil cooler. So just make sure you got something to catch the coolant with. Alright, so now we got to take off the stock oil cooler. You're going to need yourself a 14mm Allen key. And we're going to go ahead and put that up in there. If I can get it in. So, upon further discovery, it looked like this was the main culprit because this thing wasn't even, it was only hand tight. There's the oil pressure sensor just right above the oil cooler. Looked like they were both leaking because the gasket on the oil cooler, like it was kind of soft as well, kind of like came out of place easy. It looked like it was leaking from one side, but this I think is the actual thing that was leaking more than the actual, you know. But we do have some thread sealing like liquid, but it takes like 4 hours to set, so we're gonna use this tape instead.
Now what you want to do, take a little bit of the oil and rub it on this seal right here.
Make sure it's fresh oil.
Make sure it's fresh oil. Rub it on the seal so you can have full contact with the flange without bundling or whatever, so you don't have any leaks in the future. Now what you want to do is put it, make sure, okay. Okay.
Make sure y'all put the side with the gasket to the block and not the oil filter.
So now when you got it on, you want to make sure both fittings are pointing towards the front of the car because that's where your new oil cooler is going to be. Now when you have your torque wrench out, make sure you torque it down to 30 foot-pounds of torque. A couple push-in clips. 1, 2, and 3. And 4.
You said there's a brown one in your bottom.
And then as when you take it off, you will have to unloose this 13mm. Both 1 and 2
Because if it's a
on
brown
both sides.
Now we're gonna put the new one back in and take this off first.
At the same time, he knows.
Slide this up
He
in
gets
here.
tired and he's like, you know what? We're done. Let's go. No, my husband hasn't stopped all day. I can tell. He's like, yeah, he's bouncing off the wall. Yeah. It's a shame. How old are you? 9. With a G. Oh, A-G? Yeah. I understand Angie.
Now that you have a new air diverter on, you can now install the 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Slap you to wake you up so she can
Make sure you tighten all those down.
One day, like, it's so bad. She's almost like kicked him and he don't He's old.
Okay. Now, when you have these little spacers, you want to make sure you fit it in between a groove. You want to thread your bolt from the bottom to the top, line it with the hole.
Yeah, make sure these aren't like fully tight. If not, you'll be able to get it in.
Yeah.
Alright, so now put these back in. There's one a piece. One on each side.
I told my husband from when I had her
the other side.
He's like, you know, I'm 5'2", 170.
Oil cooler's mine. Typically, you gotta put the spacer in, but leave it hanging for now so that way you can route up the hoses and stuff first, and then after that we'll come back and tighten it down. So let's route that up now. So you know, let's put the lower radiator hose on right quick.
You want to be picked up to see? The same thing with my cousins. I missed it. He's like,
Alright, so now we just what's up? Okay. We just took out the old hose. Now we're putting a new one in. Just gotta tighten it down.
I'm married and I have 2 kids. How? I'm fine with the marriage. I don't know. She told me it's easy. You just feed us and let us watch TV. I mean, it's not that easy. I gotta teach her to walk. Once put his
As you guys can see, new one's in.
That's healing. A few weeks later, the little.
Okay, as you can see, we installed the oil cooler stainless steel lines, and we routed it as so. Went back down and went through this outlet, going straight to the sandwich.
Tighten it up with a dash 10 A&N wrench. Alright, so now that we got everything on the sandwich plate tightened back up, and we have all the A&N fittings torqued, you want to come back to the drain pan bolt. This is torqued to 19 foot-pounds. Okay, and all we got to do under here now is just reinstall the oil filter. So let's do that. Alright, so now we're just gonna put some fresh oil on the seal right here. Usually I would put some oil in the filter, but from the angle it's at, I don't really want to. So alright, so now our filter's lubed up. I'm gonna come up here, tighten it back. Alright, so getting the oil filter nice and tightened up. You don't want to go too tight. I usually don't like to go past hand tight with these, a little bit tighter than hand tight. But that's about it. So now we're gonna start putting the bumper and stuff back on, and we'll get back with you guys in a minute.
Okay, now we got the oil cooler fully strapped down. All the fittings are tightened. Now it's what's left to put everything back, such as the splash guard and a bumper, and make sure everything's tight, and we can get this car started.
Yeah, and at that point we already filmed all that, so we just gonna get it thrown back on and get back with y'all once we're gonna start the car up. Alright, so we're gonna start the car up now. We just put some fresh Mobil 1 in, and hopefully we won't have any leaks. Let's check. Alright, man, so it's been a long day, pretty accomplished. Started the car up as y'all saw, didn't leak. So now we're gonna go ahead and put in some coolant. Yeah, let it the system burp itself and all that. Long day, man. We've been through like 2 or 3 rainstorms.
Bro.
It's hot, humid, all that. Florida, man, you know.
That's that Florida weather, okay? For any of you who didn't know.
Shit, major lack of sleep, bro, so I'm tired. So we're gonna go ahead and button everything up and get the car back together. Well, it's already back together, but you know, just get everything situated.
Yeah, check over, make everything's fitted, nothing's leaking, everything's fine.
And the gauges, we'll show y'all. We didn't put the fuel sender in today because like it's kind of, you know, it's been long. We didn't expect all the rainstorms and stuff, so we're a little tired. But next video we're gonna put it in, and then we'll get the gauges installed probably within the next 2 or 3 videos. So we'll be back with y'all on that. All right, so as y'all can see, it is dark as hell out. We had to run the AutoZone like about 10 minutes before they closed to get a socket. So let me fill y'all in real quick. So we've been having a little issue. Everything was going good. We tightened the oil pressure thing back in, but we didn't have the proper tool to go around it. So we had to first hand tighten it, then we used some vice grips to get it as tight as we could, but the position was like super awkward. Started the car up, wasn't leaking, everything was fine. So I was like, you know what, let me let it run for a little bit. I revved it to like 7,500 because you know the car red line's at 8. I kept revving it high because I wanted to see if the harmonics were gonna make it come loose, and it did. So I'm pretty confident at this point that the main thing that was leaking oil was actually the sensor and not the cooler. The cooler might have had a little bit of leakage because it looked like some of it was coming from the cooler, but whatever. Upgrade is an upgrade. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see if any of these tools work because we don't know the size for it. We'll let y'all know once we figure it out, but we don't know the size because, you know, the biggest thing we had was 27 mil. It looked like it fit, but it was too short. So we're gonna go find out right now. And if it does, we'll let y'all know the size. So if anyone else runs into this problem in the future, yeah.
Also, if you guys do 1/116 would work. Also, I think a 27 millimeter would work also. So,
All right, man. So forgive us. We look tired and beat down, bro. It's been a long day. We finished the install.
we've been through a lot though.
A lot.
But guess what? Throttle Havoc's up for a challenge.
Yes, sir.
We still got it done. You feel me?
Got it
As
done.
long as it's done and we can do what we got to do with
Hey.
it ain't no problem with us.
At the end of the day, this is what it is, building cars, man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff don't always go according to plan, you know? So we
Yeah.
weren't expecting. It's just weird because you really can't tell by looking at it from the bottom because the oil cooler was right under the oil sensor. So I think the oil cooler was still leaking a little bit. I don't know for sure, but I think most of it was coming out of that sensor.
Best to be safe than sorry. You
know.
don't want to have to deal with that in the long run.
But
so.
hey, either way, the car got a mod. It
Yeah.
didn't need it, but it got it. So
We got to upgrade it, didn't need, but then again, it'll pay off down the line.
1 week later.
And as I knew from last video, the oil sensor we installed had a leaking problem, then which we installed some thread tape to have a better seal, but it ended up still leaking after we went to AutoZone and bought a socket to tighten it more. We tightened it and then we still had a leak. So today we're gonna install a new one from Ford. Hopefully this one fixes our problem. And we also will be installing the nitrous outlet fuel regulator.
alright, so as y'all can see, we didn't get a chance to put in the fuel pressure cylinder. So we doing that right now. Just getting these bolts off to take off the strut tower brace so we can pop off the engine cover. Take out the fuel pump fuse. Get the lines free of fuel so we can pop it in place. And then we'll get started putting in the sensor.
Alright, if you guys recall from the intake manifold install video, we had to remove fuse 49, which is a 30 amp fuse. We had to remove it so we can make sure all the fuel is drained out the system, so it won't be spraying out everywhere when we take it apart. Alright, go ahead.
Alright, so now shouldn't be very much fuel in the line. Let's pull this back. Pop this up. Nah. So as y'all can see, for some reason, even though last time we did it, it didn't do that. But just be careful because that shit got a lot of pressure behind it. Damn. Anyways, let's put the cinder in now. All Alright, so as y'all can see, we got the hose back on. Now we're gonna go ahead and start it up to make sure we don't have any leaks. And on top of that, we gotta find a way to position this hose a little better so it don't kink up. But yeah, so we'll get back to y'all in a second.
Okay, now I'm gonna put the fuse back in. Make sure there's no leaks. Go ahead.
Alright, we good now, so let's get to the oil pressure sensor install. So as y'all can see, we use some thread tape, and I think we put it on backwards. So just make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying. But this was a temporary fix. We didn't plan on keeping it in there. It did what it needed to do. It held the leak for the rest of the week. It was still dropping a little bit of oil, but not as bad as it was. But let me just show y'all the difference. If y'all go look earlier, I think we did a close-up with this one. This is the old one. Look at the difference though. This is how it's supposed to look, and this is how it looks. It barely has anything left on there. So all that was being pushed out. Plus it was hand tight. So whenever y'all check y'all oil, make sure y'all check this just right above the oil cooler, because this could very well be a problem. I actually did some research this week, and some GT350s were having this problem at the track because of the high RPM stuff. Like 3 or 4 of them was on, I think, Mustang Gt 6G form. I think it was that one. Just make sure you check the torque specs on this. It is 10 foot-pounds and 180-degree turn, so we're gonna get it torqued down. And yeah, but just y'all make sure y'all check these, because this could really be a bad day. This was hand tight. Imagine you on a track at 8,000 RPM and this shoots out the side of your car. That's not gonna be a good day, so y'all check it.
Alright, as you guys can see, we got the wheel off, and we found that this is actually an easier way to get access to the oil pressure sensor.
Yeah, way easier than going from the top, because from the top,
we're basically working blind because we can't see what we're screwing off. We can only go by feel, and plus it's really tight. From the bottom, we still have a lot more space to work with.
you may need a, most likely probably gonna need a universal joint. Only problem is trying to fit it in place like this. It's like working with a limp dick, so y'all just be y'all just be mindful of that. So they gave us the wrong part. It was really off by 1 part number. So just to show y'all how close that it was, the part number on the right one is C as in cat, M as in mansion, 5, A as in apple, dash, 9, D as in dog, 290, dash, A as in apple, A as in apple. The one they gave us, however, is C as in cat, M as in mansion, 5, A as in apple, dash, 9, D as in dog, 290, dash, A as in apple, B as in boy. So it's really off by 1 letter. Instead of having an A at the end, it had a B. And that is why this won't fit. We even tried sanding it down so it'll be smooth and going, but it's literally these 2 side clips right here. That's the problem. So, that being said, not only has this particular Ford dealership stolen shit out of my car before, now they got me the wrong part, and I'm pissed because my car is stuck here right now. I have to go get an AutoZone part instead of the Motorcraft.
Okay, back from AutoZone, and we went everywhere to see if they had a sensor. They didn't have it in stock, so we ended up trying the tape method again. This time we ended up switching the way the tape was going. So instead of going counterclockwise, it's going clockwise now. So it's going with
the thread.
Thread. So when we screw it in, it should tighten and not come loose. Hopefully that fixed our problem.
And as a security measure, we're gonna try and use some of this thread sealant too that we had. Hopefully these two together will hold it. Eventually we will end up changing out this sensor, but if this doesn't leak for a while, we just gonna keep this in there for now, because we've been through hell. We've been everywhere looking for this sensor, so it is what it is. There we go. So quick update, we broke the OEM sensor, so now we're gonna have to go with this sensor that doesn't really fit, just for the time being. Hopefully the connector is right, and if that's the case, then we're just gonna run with this one. Just so y'all can see an aftermath, it broke apart.
Okay, as you guys can see, we have the part back on because we just installed the other oil sensor that we had. We got the sensor put back on. Everything's tight. There's no leaks whatsoever. So I think we're pretty good right now. But okay, as you can see, we have the wire for the gauges pre-routed. These will get wired up fairly soon. But
yeah, we're gonna show y'all in the future video upcoming.
Yeah, we'll show you guys in the future video coming up how they work, how they look, all that fun stuff.
So yeah, we had a couple behind the scenes issues, but it's all right though. We got it fixed. Car's running good, like he said. For y'all that wanted Honda content, we're gonna bring you some. My girl, she's got an Asian Civic. Not gonna mod that yet. It's gonna be a little minute. But my boy Darren been here helping us all day. Hasn't been on the camera, but he's been here helping us out. I'm gonna let him tell you about his bill real quick. No, this is not this nigga. See,
It's secret, yo. It's secret. Nah, I don't want people to know my secret sauce.
All right.
You can show them the car. You can be like,
all right.
oh,
He's got some big plans for us Honda. You know, an engine swap. I'm not gonna say too much, or is that too much?
that's fine. You can keep them on the edge.
Little engine swap. So we're gonna bring y'all some disassembly and assembly videos on the engine, and we swapping and all that stuff, and whatever plans he has on doing with that, so we can get y'all some more content. And Alpha's car is gonna be getting some work fairly soon. I know we keep saying it, but it's coming. But yeah, with that, catch y'all next video.